Hey guys, it's Nick from vsTech. I'm sorry, I've been gone. I haven't been anywhere. Moved schools, moved houses, life kind of threw me a curveball, and I just had to work along with that. So I just want to get right into the content again, get right back to the videos I used to make, which weren't even that many of them, but I'm going to try to be more consistent. We're going to try to do some more interactive videos. So, big thing in tech news right now is the new Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P. People are mostly focused on the corners they cut and comparing the two devices. I'm going to go over the two devices, not too much in depth. I'm using an article from Android Police that has a table that spells out all the differences for you and which is the winner. It's actually really helpful. I'll go ahead and post that link in the description, but I'm going to quickly go over some things that I think are important. I won't go over every spec, but I will go over the major differences in my opinion. First off, they have different GPUs and CPUs. 5X has an 808, whereas compared to the 6P has an 810, and the 5X has 2 gigs of DDR3 RAM, whereas the 6P has 3 gigs of the DDR4 RAM, which is newer, okay? Other differences we have is storage size. Now, a lot of people are complaining about the 16 gig model of the 5X, saying that it's not enough space for a 2015 flagship, and you're kind of right. You're right. I don't think it's meant to be the flagship, though. I think that goes to the 6P. The 5X is totally targeting someone different. I think the 5X came about really so that Project Fi is widely available to everyone. That's why I think it really exists. And 16 gigs is doable. I currently am filming this on my Nexus 5, 16 gigs. And as much as the 16 gigs of storage annoys me, constantly having to delete things and manage it, it's totally doable. Okay, let's keep moving on. Display size. It's obviously the biggest difference, the one people care about most. 5.2 inches on the 5X as compared to 5.7 inches on the 6P. Obviously, you have just a big phone, and then you got a phablet, okay? That's kind of preference, but I would say more screen real estate is for better media consumption, where one-handed usage goes to the 5X. That's obviously a tie. Display tech. Now, this is where my bias comes in. This is what really made me upset about... These are one of the two things that made me very upset about the 5X. The 5X uses LCD display, and the 6P uses AMOLED. Okay, so the reason why I don't like LCD is because I do like to use either AcDisplay. I use that. It's on the Play Store. I might go ahead and link that too. I love that because I used to have a Moto X and I used active display. Even I did have a Nexus 6 at one point and I used ambient display and I like that. But when I use those features on an LCD screen at night, it just turns on the whole screen and even the black parts of the screen light up and it's not fun to look at. I also don't think it's as clear an image and it doesn't look as nice and the colors aren't as vibrant on an LCD display. I love AMOLED. And the fact that they went with LCD obviously is that they can save money, but not my favorite in my opinion. I wish they would have gone with AMOLED even on the 5X. Let's keep going down. Oh, Gorilla Glass 3 on the 5X, Gorilla Glass 4 on the 6P. I didn't know that was a difference, but that makes sense. That's a corner they cut to save cost, which I'm totally fine with still. The front camera aperture is actually better on the 5X. Well, that's kind of surprising, but that's the only thing the 5X has won on so far. Let's go on to battery size. It's 2,700 milliamps versus 3,450 milliamps. Obviously, the bigger battery goes to the 6P because it's a bigger phone. We don't know yet which one's gonna last longer, but I do like the big battery in the 6P. If you don't take your phone out a lot and use that giant display, that thing will last a while. I could see that thing lasting almost 2 days if you have moderate use. Not my kind of use, or probably your kind of use, but for someone like your mom, I guarantee you probably last 2 days. Fast charging. Both have them, and it just depends on how big the battery is how much charge you get. So I'm not going to go over the fact that the 6P charges faster than the 5X. That's how fast charging technology works. The speakers, this is the second thing that got me most upset about the 5X and made me switch on board. It would be the 5X is a single front-facing speaker, but 2 speaker grills. That's kind of like false advertising to me, and that really irks me. That irks me. Just really makes me mad that they couldn't add the second speaker. Whereas the 6P has the dual front-facing stereo speakers. Obviously the winner right there. And if you've ever used a phone with stereo speakers front facing, I think it's really hard to go back. Especially, I bought the Moto X 2014 thinking it had stereo speakers, and it was a lie. Just the bottom grill spit out noise, and that did not sound as good. Okay, and I do use my phone's speakers a lot, so it's important to me at least. Let's see, any other real big differences? Just the price. I mean, obviously the 5X comes in at a much more affordable price range, being $379 and keeping that sub 400 price, which was pretty surprising to me because of all the new stuff they put on it. Like a fingerprint scanner and USB Type-C, those are really new technologies. Those are expensive, and the fact they only made it $20 more expensive than the Nexus 5 in 2013, I was pretty happy with that. I will admit that the 5X totally beats it out on price and doesn't cut all the corners. You know, it doesn't cut too many corners. I think the 5X, rightfully so, cut corners where it needed to get that price. Okay, and I went over all those places it did. But I would not go with 16 gigs anymore, because now that I do YouTube, I take so many videos all the time, I would have to go with a 32 gig version. And for $70 more, I can just get a 6P and have all the features I care about. And I was really surprised because I usually don't like big screen phones, but if I were, and I don't think I am going to this year, if I were to get one of the Nexuses, I would be going with the 6P now. It's got all the premium features. There are more features that the 6P only has alone. Like on its camera app, it's going to get Smart Burst. It's going to get EIS, which is like OIS, but it's electronic image stabilization. That's important if you're a big camera addict. You're going to have all the features. Pretty much the Nexus 6P has everything. They just made the best phone that they could and got it down to the smallest price that they could, which happens to be $500. But that's still a deal for what it is. The Nexus 6P is amazing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The only gripe I've heard people have about the 6P is the size. And I'm sure you can get over the size. Now, the 808 cuts corners. It cuts corners everywhere. But I think it cuts them in places where people mostly don't care about. It keeps NFC. You got quick charging now. I don't use wireless charging. I haven't found it to be my favorite thing. People usually, when they get a phone, don't care about what kind of display it is. People usually don't care about stereo speakers or look into it that deeply. They cut corners in all these places, and it totally kept the price down. Even on the chipset, the storage size, I think Google was smart to do this. This is the one that's going to get people going on Project Fi. I'll do another video later about why I'm not going on Project Fi, even though I want to. But definitely, these are the differences. Again, I will post the links. Yeah, anything I mentioned in this video, I'll post the links to down in the description. I want to have a description. Which one would you choose and why? Are you upset about some of the corners being cut by Google and LG and Huawei? Let me know in the comments. And again, like this video if you think I did a good job. And I will see you another time. Peace.